Mikel Arteta handed huge Arsenal injury boost ahead of Athletic Club Champions League clash. Arsenal face Athletic Club in the Champions League on Tuesday night. With Mikel Arteta putting his squad through their paces during an open training session on Monday, Mikel Arteta has been handed a huge injury boost ahead of Arsenal's Champions League clash with Athletic Club on Tuesday night. The Gunners return to European action just days after their 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. A brace from Martin Zubimendi and a sole Victor GYOKERES strike was enough to ensure Ange Postecoglou's return to management ended in defeat. The North Londoners now turn their attention back to the Champions League, and Arteta will be hoping to go one better than last season, where they reached the semi-finals. Athletic Club are Arsenal's first opponents in the league phase of the competition, and the Gunners squad were put through their paces during an open training session on Monday. In what is a huge boost, William Saliba was among those to take part in the session. The Frenchman was taken off early in the 1-0 defeat to Liverpool before the international break after suffering an ankle injury and missed Saturday's win against Forest. Christian Norgard was also out on the grass after yet again missing out on the matchday squad at the weekend. The Dane is yet to make his Arsenal debut since making the move from Brentford in the summer, but appears to be in contention to make the trip to Bilbao. Arsenal in the Champions League Special Edition. The Champions League is back, and Arsenal will be looking to finally lift that famous trophy, which has been elusive for so long. And our Daily Mirror Special Edition is the ideal guide to the challenge facing Mikel Arteta and his side. It is packed full of features and analysis on the Gunners, profiles of all 36 teams looking to reach the final in Budapest in May, plus every fixture in this season's group stage. In other news, Martin Odegaard was not among those to take part in the session after limping off against Nottingham Forest. The Gunners captain injured his shoulder in the first half against Postecoglou's side and was forced off. The Norwegian has already suffered a shoulder injury this season, and Arteta admitted it's a very similar injury. The Spaniard said, "I don't know if it's exactly the same place, but very similar injury. He wasn't comfortable to continue. He's played 2 games with Norway. Unfortunately, he cannot carry on today. So we have to assess him with the doctors and see, but I'm sure he will try his best to be fit for Tuesday." Asked if Odegaard may need surgery, Arteta said, "No, I don't think that." Well, I'm not the experts, but they weren't concerned at that level at all. The last time in a few days he was able to manage the pain, especially since it wasn't that the injury was that bad. I don't know the extent of 2 days, but hopefully not. Elsewhere, Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, and Gabriel Jesus missed the open training session on Monday. Football. London has previously reported that Saka is targeting a return against Manchester City on Sunday, and it's possible the Englishman returns to training this week. Arteta will provide an update on his Arsenal squad on Monday evening during his pre-match press conference. Alan Shearer issues Victor GYOKERES' verdict as Gunners give a new title hope. Arsenal secured a 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest on Saturday, thanks to goals from Martin Zubimendi, who grabbed a brace, and Victor GYOKERES as the Gunners resumed their title bid. Arsenal got back to winning ways on Saturday with a 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest as they resumed their Premier League title hint. The Gunners enjoyed a relatively comfortable day out as Martin Zubimendi netted a brace, the first of which came from a rocket volley, while Victor GYOKERES was also on the scoresheet. Mikel Arteta's team now have 3 wins from 4 scoring 9 goals in the process and letting in just 1. Arsenal still have some tough games ahead as they prepare for a tough trip to Athletic Bilbao in the Champions League before hosting Premier League title rivals Manchester City at the Emirates next week. After a positive return from the international break, Mirror Football has rounded up the latest Arsenal news and gossip. GYOKERES looks in full swing at Arsenal after notching his 3rd goal for the club in Arsenal's win at home to Forest, despite fears he could suffer a slow start to life at the Emirates. The Sweden international joined in a £63 million deal from Sporting Lisbon this summer, but looked like he might need time to adapt to the Premier League after failing to score on his debut against Manchester United. He then followed that up with a brace in a 5-0 win over Leeds. While he also failed to notch against Liverpool, he grabbed another strike against Forest on Saturday to make it a treble of strikes since his big move. And Shearer, who currently holds the record for most goals in Premier League history, has backed him to continue his streak in the top flight, but only if his teammates continue to give him good service. I think to get the best out of him, he's going to need early balls into the box, Shearer told Premier League Productions. It's a wonderful ball over the top, but the hardest part is for the winger to put that on a plate for GYOKERES. First time ball, early ball. That's exactly what he demands. If Arsenal continue to do that, they still didn't get the balance right, as I said at half-time. But I thought it was a little bit better in the second half, when Riccardo Calafiori whipped one or two early balls in. He'll get a shed load of goals if they keep on getting balls into the box early. There's no doubt that most pundits are going for Liverpool when asked for their pick as Premier League champions this season. That's after the Reds completed a remarkable transfer window that saw them splash out more than £400 million on high-profile signings like Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz, further adding to their title credentials. Liverpool have already secured a 1-0 win over Arsenal before the international break to give themselves an early advantage over their rivals in the title race. But after Arsenal's impressive 3-0 win against Forest, pundit Ali McCoist believes there is a chance the Gunners could go all the way in the hunt for the crown, though ultimately feels Liverpool will clinch the title. I've got Liverpool to win the league. However, after watching them play at Liverpool, I think Arsenal will go really close, McCoist said on TNT Sports. Mikel Arteta provides injury updates on 2 stars after Nottingham Forest win. Arsenal return to action following the international break in style, beating Nottingham Forest 3-0 at the Emirates as new signings Martin Zubimendi and Victor GYOKERES took centre stage. Arsenal's new boys did the business on Saturday as they thrashed Nottingham Forest 3-0 to get back to winning ways in the Premier League. Martin Zubimendi's brace sandwiched a goal from fellow summer signing Victor GYOKERES as the Gunners made light work of their visitors at the Emirates. It was the perfect restart following the international break, having suffered a bruising 1-0 loss at Liverpool. It's a crucial period for Arsenal too, as next up they have 3 games in 3 different competitions. The Gunners travel to Spain on Tuesday to begin their Champions League campaign against Athletic Bilbao. Then next Sunday, it's a mouth-watering matchup at home to Manchester City, another early season clash which could ramifications on the league title race. After that, Arsenal enter the Carabao Cup. Arteta's side have been drawn away to League One side Port Vale in the 3rd round of the competition. Here's a roundup of news from the Emirates. William Saliba was back in training this week, but the Arsenal defender watched from the stands on Saturday. Saliba, 24, pulled out of the France squad due to injury after rolling his ankle in the warm-up against Liverpool last month. After returning to training, there was hope that the French centre-back would be available against Nottingham Forest. But Arteta revealed to TNT Sports pre-match. He trained yesterday, but at the end of the session, he wasn't fully ready to start the game. Mikel Arteta has confirmed that Martin Odegaard suffered a recurrence of his shoulder injury in the first half of Saturday's win. After being caught